We are going to be dividing polynomials using the box method today. And so this is very similar to what we were doing with multiplying polynomials last couple of days. But this time we are going to be dividing. So we're going to be looking to go from filling in part of the outside and part of the inside and figure out what would be up here. Just like when you divide regular numbers, sometimes you end up with a remainder, sometimes you don't. And same thing with polynomials. Sometimes we'll have a remainder and sometimes we won't. So let's go ahead and fill in what we do have. And out here is going to be your second term, the x plus 3. Inside the first little spot is going to go your highest powered of your polynomial. This is a third degree because this is already all multiplied out, so you go with the highest exponent. So this is a third degree polynomial. And now we're going to divide. And you'll take the x cubed and you're going to divide it by x. And that answer will go up here. And so when we divide that, x cubed divided by x gives us x squared. And so x squared goes up here. We're going to take this number and we're going to multiply it times a 3, and that gives us this spot, squared. Now let's go to the next column over. These two numbers we'll need to add to create this negative 4x squared. So 3x squared plus what is equal to negative 4x squared? Well, I'll need to subtract 7x squared to get there. So negative 7 squared. And then we're going to go through the same process. We're going to first divide 7x squared divided by x, and that gives me 7x. It is positive, so I'm going to put plus. Or excuse me, it's a negative 7x squared. So that's going to give me a negative 7x. So then I'm going to multiply, and that gives me negative 21x, because I will multiply that negative 7x all the way over here to that 3. Now I'm going to take my next. We're going to add these two terms to come up with a negative 24x. So negative 21x plus what equals a negative 24x. And so that would be a negative 3x. And so that's going to go up here. So negative 3x divided by x gives me a negative 3. Negative 3 times positive 3 gives me a negative 9. And I'm going to look at that last spot and see, does negative 9 equal the negative 9 up here? If so, I am done. As it matches, I'm done. That means this is my answer. So my answer is it's equal to x squared minus 7x minus 3. That's my answer. So let's do one on your own of these. Now let's look at the one that we're going to do together. This one's a little bit different. First off, this number here is not 1, and neither is this number here. You will be looking to see, and on these you'll take and have, just like we started last time, that 9x and that positive 2 goes here. The 54x cubed goes here. We're going to divide just like we did before, 54x cubed divided by, this time 9x. And so when I divide those, 54 divided by 9 is 6. So we have, when we divide those, we ended up with 6x to the second, because cube divided by an x gives you x squared left. And so now let's go ahead and multiply that. And when we multiply 6x squared times 2, we end up with 12x squared. So we need to think of what 12x squared plus what is going to give me that 39x squared at the top. And so when we subtract 12 over here, we end up with 27x squared is what we needed. So 27x squared goes here. Take 27x squared, and we're going to divide that by 9x from right here. That gives us 3x. So we're going to multiply, and it would be a positive 3x, so that 27 was positive. So positive 3x times our 2 gives us a 6x. So 6x plus what is going to give me that 33x. And so I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. And I end up with another 27x this time. So 27x. Now I'm going to take that 27x and I'm going to divide it by my 9x, and I come up with just 3. And again, it's positive. Positive 3 times 2 is 6. Well, 6 does not match. So I need to think 6 plus what is going to equal 9. And so that would be 3. So this one has a remainder of 3. So my answer is all of that together. 6x squared plus 3x plus 3 plus 3x plus 3 with a remainder of 3. So this is our answer to this problem. I want you to go ahead and work the next problem on your own. Let's look at number 5. Number 5 is a little bit different. Number 1, these are not in order. And so we need to rewrite it to where they are in order from the highest exponent to the smallest. So 4n cubed plus, minus n squared plus 40n, and then we need to include anything that's left out, so plus 0. And then we're going to fill in where everything goes. So that 4n goes here, that negative 1 goes here. And then in the first box inside, we're going to put our highest powered variable, And now let's go ahead and do the same thing we've been doing. So we're going to start with dividing, and we're going to divide by that 4n by 4n cubed by 4n. And so if I have 4n cubed divided by 4n, I end up with 1n squared. And so I'm going to go ahead and fill in that 1n squared. Do I need this 1? The answer is no. So you don't have to write that. So I have n squared, and I am going to multiply that by my negative 1. So n squared times negative 1 ends up with a negative n squared. So negative n squared plus what is going to equal negative n squared? Well, that means I need to add nothing. So up here it would be 0 n squared. When I have a 0 here, that automatically makes us 0 n above it. You don't technically need to write the 0 in. That's not one that's there, but it's just a placeholder. And if I have 0 times anything, it's 0. So that gives me a 0 n down there. So 0 n plus what is going to give me 40 n? The answer is 40. And so I'm going to do the same thing we've been doing. We're going to first divide. So 40n divided by 4n gives me 10. And so 10 is what I'm going to write above. Ten times negative 1 is negative 10. And so negative 10 plus what? And if I come up here, there isn't one that's a constant. So it's plus what is going to equal 0. So it would be plus 10. So our remainder is 10. And now let's go ahead and write what that's equal to when we divide. And so it equals n squared plus 10 with a remainder of 10.